host of the Gridiron.
Once again, you see all this stuff. It's, once again, I think a lot of it's just for kind of like idiots like me to click on it and read. Oh my God, really? Yeah. Stefon Diggs, he's a pick to go to the Giants, really? Oh my God. I think this is about as horrible as you can. Horrible. About that's not much. Stefon Diggs is horrible or anything. He was injured last year, right? But he always seemed to have a problem. He seemed to have a problem when he was with Minnesota. Then he went to Buffalo. It seemed like he had a problem at Buffalo. Yeah. So there's a constant there, right? There's one constant. It's him, right? There's a problem, right? I don't like guys that seem to possibly have problems. Hey, we all got problems. Right? I get it. But, if you're somebody, who's outspoken and you seem to have problems, you don't like where you're at or this, there's always, not a big fan of that, right? Especially if he's like, he wants the ball and this, that, maybe he's not getting the ball. He had a problem with Josh Allen, I believe it was. It's like, I'm not sure. He's getting up there in age. But the thing is that he has to understand that we have a new sheriff in town. His name's Malik Nabers. He's going to get a lot of targets. He's got to realize that Wan'Dale Robinson. Between the two of them, they had over 200 catches. It's never happened before for the Giants. You combine two guys' receptions together, we have over 200. That's never happened before, right? So if you bring somebody in here like him, it just. And especially if we start losing, like we usually do. Can you imagine? That's just a recipe for disaster. You bring this guy in, and we start losing. He don't get the ball, and wow, that could be a big time trouble. Big time trouble. Let's see here. I got. All right, here we go. Houston Texans stars predicted to bolt for an NFC team. I don't know. Once again. It's just for like idiots like me to click on their ads. That's all. All right, click on their reports here. Houston Texans may face some considerable changes this offseason as they don't have a whole lot of cap space to work with to get better. As a result, the Texans may also lose key players such as wide receiver Stefon Diggs. Mason Cameron. Pro Football Focus has compiled a list of the best landing spots for some top free agents, and he has Diggs heading to New York Giants. I don't know why. With the Giants holding a top 3 draft pick, expectations are that they will make a play for one of the top quarterbacks in the class, Cameron wrote. Pairing Diggs' experience with Malik Nabers would provide a young passer with quality weapons in the receiving game and an ample opportunity to produce quickly. A union between Diggs and the Giants seems a bit odd given that the former 31-year-old and probably wants to win now. That's not happening in New York. New York is in a rebuilding franchise, and you have to wonder how Diggs would behave with a team in that situation. Probably would not be good. Texans quarterback C.J. Stroud has made it abundantly clear that he wants Diggs back, and some momentum does seem to be building toward Diggs re-upping with Houston. Diggs was traded to the Texans last April and was expected to revolutionize their offense, but he tore his ACL 8 games into the season. During his time on the field in 2024, the 4-time Pro Bowler caught 47 passes, 496 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Diggs could probably be had on a 1-year deal, so we'll see if Houston attempts to retain him. I don't know why the Giants would want somebody with just his attitude. And there's another one here from Giants Wires. Giants named best landing spot for Stefon Diggs. Giants will focus on finding their next quarterback this offseason, but that will be far from their only need. Oh, you got that right. General Manager Joe Schoen must address multiple positions, including offensive line, cornerback, safety, interior, defensive line, and depth across the entire roster. That's all. After selecting Malik Nabers 6th overall in the 2024 NFL Draft, wide receiver is not exactly at the top of the Giants' priority list. However, with the expectations that they'll lose veteran wide receiver Darius Slayton, they will need to be some backfilling. Why not go big with it? Because that's not a good fit. Mason Cameron of Pro Football Focus believes that Stefon Diggs would be a perfect fit for the Giants. Yeah. Diggs tore his ACL in Week 8 will make for an interesting free agency period between the 31-year-old receiver and teams this offseason. Prior to going down, Diggs showed no signs of slowing down, on pace to produce his 10th straight campaign with a 77-plus PFF receiving grade. With the Giants holding a top 3 pick, expectations are that they will make a play for one of the top quarterbacks in the class. Pairing Diggs' experience with Nabers would provide a young passer with quality weapons in the receiving game and ample opportunity to produce quickly. Although Diggs does take some snaps in the slot, most of his production comes outside. That would also allow the Giants to bookend Diggs and Nabers, with Wan'Dale Robinson continuing his role on the inside. It would be perfect counterbalance for whoever the next quarterback is and give the Giants 3 legitimate offensive weapons at receiver while also benefiting from running back Tyrone Tracy Jr., who is a converted receiver. But is Diggs, who was with Schoen and Dable in Buffalo, the kind of player the Giants want to allocate their limited resources to? Perhaps the ACL injury will drive down his price, but there are far more pressing needs than they need for another wide receiver. And I mean, as of right now, they got so many holes to fill. They got, so many other issues. It'd be interesting to see what Diggs does. If he goes back to Houston, if he signs with another team, right? But the one thing is that he just seems like, if they're not winning, if he's not getting the ball, right? If they're not scoring points, he's going to be a cancer. And that's not something the Giants want. The Giants are also trying to get younger. And I can see getting a veteran presence like him in here could be very valuable, very, very valuable, right? But it's just allocating, a lot of money to a wide receiver when they have other pressing, especially a wide receiver who is not going to help them take him to a Super Bowl. They're not going to the Super Bowl next year. Unless some Washington Commander miracle happens in the Meadowland or the MetLife Stadium or whatever, I highly doubt the Giants, So they're going to bring somebody like him in, right? Once again, who can create problems with his attitude, which is not a good thing, right? It's not something you want in the locker room, okay? But also to bring somebody in, just say for 2 years, and there's a good chance in 2 years we're not going to play a Super Bowl, right? Do you want to allocate money to somebody who's going to be into his 30s and he's going to start slowing down? I would rather allocate my money, right? If you're trying to build a team, a roster for the future, if you're going to spend, I'm just saying, I don't know, $10 million on somebody, let's bring somebody in who's younger. You get a good wide receiver, right? But somebody else, I don't know, somebody on an offensive line, somebody on a defensive line, a cornerback, right? Who's younger, right? Who can, produce and be with the team for years to come. So, hopefully, as we start building this team and we start getting into the playoffs and hopefully beyond, right? The guy that we bringing in now will be there. Stefon Diggs is not going to be there in 3 years, 4 years, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So once again, I seen these these ads or these articles and all that stuff and everything, and I'm oh my God, really, Stefon Diggs? Yeah, good fit for the Giants. Yeah, I have to disagree. I don't think he is, and I can't say the Giants paying top-notch dollar for a guy who's not going to be around very long, right?